Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today is Talon install day. It's been a while since I've shown you the installation of a Talon grip. This is the Springfield Armory XDE, which is the hammer-fired, slimline, single stack 9mm pistol, but it's a little special because this is the one from Langdon Tactical, so it's got all that special trigger work, it's got the special slide, all that great stuff. But the one thing that Langdon Tactical seems to have forgotten to do on this model was provide a Talon grip, which they have done for some of their other models. So curious as to why they may not have for this one. But anyway, I'm going to rectify that. I'm going to put a Talon grip on this gun and complete it, make it like as good as it can possibly be. And I'm going to go with this Pro material, but this is kind of a new Pro. Nuvo Pro. I initially tested the Pro material, shared that with you. You can look back and see that. And a lot of folks complained about the look of it. It was kind of a white and black speckled look. This is much different. This is a much more subdued color, a little more gray. There you can actually see some little bit of red in there, but you don't have those big white chunks that were in the previous Pro material, so this might appeal to more folks. So I thought I would go ahead and throw this on there and see how it looks. I already know it's going to feel great. Take the slide off the gun. Get that out of the way. This is the best way to do it. It's a lot easier to work with the polymer frame without the slide on, and of course it's also the safest way. So the first thing I'm going to do is clean it with the provided alcohol wipe. And let's go ahead and fast forward past this. Okay, it's all cleaned up with the alcohol wipe, and I've let it air dry for a moment, so everything is good there. Now I'm going to start removing the backer, and I always start with the left side. Some people have wondered why you don't start with the right side, with the finger groove side, and I can't say that's wrong, but it's just not the way I do it. It's not the way Talon recommends it. So you want to start with the left side, especially where you do have the finger groove wraps. I always recommend doing a dry fit first, just to sort of line things up and understand for yourself where it's going to go, and I have done that. So I'm going to take off one side and the back. I'm going to snip it right here. So leave this part of it, leave that part protected so that we can handle it a little better. And I'm going to start with my initial lineup. Talon does a nice job of really just making it pretty obvious where everything goes, but again, that dry fit, doing that dry fit is important to help with that part of it. Alright, so I'm going to just lightly press that and move around to the back and see how we're lined up here. Okay, if I get that centered where I think it ought to be, and I push down this way, how does that look? Looks pretty good. What we don't want is overlap, so we want these seams to butt right up against each other. Because if you had some overlap right there, you had one part laying, especially on the backstrap. Backstrap takes probably the most amount of torque, at least on my guns. Maybe the finger grooves do for a lot of other folks, but the backstrap seems to take the most punishment from me. So you can see as I push that down, make sure it's good and tight as I go around the back. That moves it a little bit as we come around here. Alright. Now I'm happy with that, so I'm going to remove the rest of the backer. And I can lay this down. And I'm going to reposition this a little bit. So that that falls there where I want it. Okay, and then this falls down here where I want it. That tightens up that seam a little. It also straightens this out for me. So when you're applying your Talon grip, don't be afraid to do that. Don't be afraid to lift it up and reapply it. You don't want to handle the adhesive any more than necessary, but it is okay to go ahead and unpeel and repeel. Just make sure your hands are clean. That'll help you more than anything. If your hands are dirty or especially oily, that'll be a problem, but if your hands are clean, you should be good. So now we lift up our first starting edge a little bit so that we can tuck these finger grooves underneath. Okay, get those under there, take out any slack, and now I'm going to lay this edge back down over the top of those. And we're good. So for just a quick installation, that's not too bad. I could have taken a little more time and had my seams a little more perfect, but I think that helps to just sort of show that you don't have to be perfect, and it's okay if you're not. So the next important step is to heat it up with a hairdryer and then smush. Okay, the heating is all done, got it nice and warm, and now I just smush it down, just press it down into the polymer and let that adhesive get a nice bond. Doesn't hurt to heat it and smush it more than once. A lot of times I will do it twice just to make sure I have as good a bond as I can between the wrap and the polymer, and it'll last a lot longer. I typically, to answer questions that I normally get, I typically get several years worth of use out of a Talon grip before I feel like I need to replace it. And like I say, for me the back strap usually wears out first and I start to push it around. So I try to make extra careful to get a good adhesion right here, because that's where I tend to have a problem with it. Some people have problems here in the front, just because those are the two areas where you're putting all your torque. You know, your hand is torquing that, wanting to push it around. And over time, eventually it will. But you should get several years, even of heavy use, even if it's your competition gun. You should get years of use out of every Talon grip. And I just don't know of anything that's a better value for the money. Alright, so there it is. That's the new Pro material. I'm going to put this gun back together, make it look like a gun again. Alright, there we go. That's what it looks like now with the Talon Pro grip on it. I'll do a little bit of close-up footage so you can see this texture and see the different color now from the original Pro, for those of you who haven't seen it since the original. There you go. Thanks for watching, and don't forget you can always save extra money on your Talon grips when you use my discount code. They don't send me any money for that. That's just a gift to you, and it helps them to know where you heard about them. So use that discount code when you order your Talon grips. Thanks for watching. See you soon.